Hello everybody and welcome back. Today we are on the long-term flight planning section again. We are going to be doing something a little different. We're going to actually plan a cross-country flight from the Air Force Academy to Lyman, which is in this little guy. So this is actually where I got the FAA version A. Just traditional, old-fashioned, easy. We're going to use this guy. We are going to fill out a whole bunch of information. It's going to be fun. First things first, we're leaving from Air Force Academy. We're going to Lyman. We're going to do it the full old-fashioned way using an E6B. So we're going to Lyman, and our alternate is going to be Colorado Springs. The first thing we need to do is pull up SkyVector. We're going to look up some information on these charts. The control tower is 124.15, so we're going to go over here. ATIS is going to be 128.525, and that's pretty much all we need. It's not that far. It is 56 miles, so it counts as a cross country. We're gonna come back over here, and their CTAF is 122.9, ATIS, ASOS 121.125, and then we're gonna grab some quick information for Colorado Springs alternates. Now we're going to go up. So this airplane starts out with 38 gallons of fuel. Then we've got to look up some more information. So to start with, we are going to start Air Force Academy. We are going to go to, let's pick a waypoint. Go north of Calhoun. Then the next waypoint after that, where's a good midpoint? There's a bunch of, we kind of intersect with this. Let's go to the north side of the wind farm. And then we'll get to Lyman. Okay, LIC. And then we're going to turn around and do the exact same thing. But this matters, we do have to do it twice. And then we're gonna go, we're just going to assume 9,500 the entire way. We're gonna fill in our altitude. We're just gonna do a flyover. So we're going to take this, we're just gonna fly north of Calhoun. So this is gonna be waypoint 1. Plan that GPS position and that GPS position. And let's do some numbers. So the first leg is 26 miles. The next leg is 22 miles. And the final leg is 9 miles. Then it's exactly the same backwards, 922. So we're going to open the calculator. There are 0 remaining at this point. And we're basically going to start adding these up. So this is going to be 26 miles because it's the beginning of our journey. 26 plus 22 plus 9, 26 plus 22 plus 9 plus another 9. That's where I was going wrong. 66 plus another 22, so plus 26, 92 plus the total 88. Then we're gonna go plus 26. That's 114 miles round trip. So the next thing to do is calculate our courses. Course is going to be pretty simple and straightforward. We're going to fly. These are just for distances, so we're actually going to delete all those just so that we can get a good course. 060. Then we have to find the correction. So this is the closest correction line, this little magenta line that goes way up, and we should have a degrees around here. 8 degrees east. So east is least, so we subtract 8 degrees. This is going to be -8. So we're actually going to fly 050. Then we need to account for, nope, sorry, I lied. Wind variation is the next one we need to do. Variance is -8. Deviation comes from your compass card in the airplane. So you actually need to use that to calculate it. So every airplane has a calibrated compass. There's a compass card and it'll tell you how much it's off. Essentially, you need to use that calibrated part and that will help you actually fly the compass heading. So the next part, we need to calculate some wind. So this is a METAR, which does not give you wind at altitude. Aviation weather, get some winds aloft. Denver, Pueblo. We don't want flight level 300. We're looking for like 9. Yeah, 300 at 23. And this is 300 at 12. That's a huge difference. We'll average them 18. Over here, the wind is 300 at an average of 8. Temperature is going to be -6. Now we get to go do the real calculator stuff. The very first thing we have to do is on the back, I don't know if you can see it, there's a little dot right up there south of, just below 180, slightly off to the right. So we need to make one of those dots. The way that you do that is right above 160, there is a hole we put that on our airspeed. This aircraft flies at 103 knots, so we pull it way down, 103. And actually, we're going to do that center dot, we're going to put at 103 knots, which is our cruising speed, 403. We're then going to turn our wind direction, which is up here, to 300. Then we're going to go up 18 knots, and we're going to put a dot right in the center line. There's a dot at 18 from 100, so that's 18 at 300. So now we need to turn to our heading, which is 060, and then we read our wind component. So I have turned it to our heading of 060. There's the dot all the way down there, which is about at 8 knots tailwind, and about 9 degrees that we're going to have to turn. So we're going to have to turn 9 degrees east. We're going to have to turn 9 degrees east, so our correction is going to be, 9 degrees north. We're going to subtract 9, so then our actual heading that we're going to fly is going to be 51. Then we've got an 8 degree variation. East is least, so we're actually going to fly, 43 on the heading. Then you're going to use your compass card, you're going to fill that in, and then we're going to go over here. That's going to be our heading that we're going to dial in on the compass. So that's relatively simple. The only other one we need to do that's like this is when we change direction. So our heading's actually going to be reciprocal. It's going to be 240, and instead of being a negative 9 degrees, it's going to be a plus 9 degrees with a negative 8 on the heading again. So instead of 240, it's going to be 249, and then we subtract 8, which almost cancels itself out, and we do 241. We're actually going to fly 241 on the way back. Same winds and temperatures all the way down. And then these guys are all the way same, right to there. The next thing we have to calculate is our time en route. Say things, I swear. So the next part we use is this little spinny guy back here. Flight computer. Nifty, eh? The thing that we need to do is we need to set that little 6D to our speed. So we're going to be doing 103 knots. So we're going to go 3 degrees past. Then after that, we're going to figure out how much time it takes us to go 26 miles. So if you look on this outer ring, 70, 60, 55, we're going to come all the way down and around. We're looking for 26 miles, which is going to be somewhere right around there. Means this is going to take us about 15 minutes to do 26 miles. So we're going to put that 15 minutes, and then let's sanity check it. So if we're doing 114 knots, ooh, no, we need ground speed. Forgot that. So we're not just doing 103, we have to calculate our ground speed as well. So we essentially, on the plotter, we dial in our reciprocal heading. So instead of 060, we're going to put 240. 240, because of course you guys can see that. We are flying there's 240, true index. We are flying at 103 knots. Then we come up and we look where that dot is, which is about 112. So 112 is going to be our ground speed on the way out. And since we're not really going anywhere, it's still going to be 112. And then we do the exact opposite. We get back, we dial in 060, put in 103 knots, and that brings us right around 94 knots. So 060, 103 knots, down to the dot, 96 knots. So we're going to say, back over to the flight computer, now we dial in 112, which is, you put that 60, and then those are times 10 on the outer ring, so there's 112. Then we come back out to this outer ring again, we're looking for 26. 26 minutes is 13.9, so 13.9 minutes. Now we're going to come down, find where 22 is and what 22 says. It's going to be 11.8. And we're just going to do this for all of them. Well, then we have 9. 9 gets a little exciting. So if you look on the flight computer, it focuses. 9 is actually below 10, and the scale gets a little funny, so you've got to kind of interpolate there. So if we go over here, that's 77 minutes, 6 minutes. That's about 5 minutes. There's 4.5 minutes. So we're at about 4.8 minutes to get down to 9 miles. So we're at 4.8 minutes. It's a quick leg. Then we're going to go and we're going to update the flight computer. And we're going to punch in the top number down to the 96 on our reciprocal heading. There's 96. We're going to come all the way down and we're going to look for 9 again, which is up there. But now, instead of, that's going to be 5.5, about 5.6 minutes. We're going to do the same thing down here. We're going to look up where, 22 is, down here, and call it about 13.8. And your times are different going out versus coming back. The last one, we're going to look up 26, which is 16 minutes, 16.2. We'll call that. Now, we essentially just add our estimated time to this guy. So, that's going to be 113.9. I'm going to use a calculator. We're looking at 125.7 plus 4.8, 130.5 plus 5.6, 136.1 plus 13.8. Yep, so we still haven't rolled over the hour. Gotta make sure we watch that with the calculator. And then our final one, 16.2, 6 minutes over the hour, so that's gonna be 206.1. And just so that we know it's Zulu, I'm gonna put in the zeros. Not only is this a night flight, but it's a night cross-country flight. Alright, now we've got our times en route, our estimated leg time, the times we should hit them, and this bottom set of boxes is for when you actually do this. You want to punch in, okay, we're at waypoint, this is what our ground speed is, this is what time it is, this is, so you can do all your calculations and you can figure out exactly where you are and if you're on course. If you have drastically different numbers, you might have different winds, you might have some engine problems, you might have some speed problems. Alright, so to calculate fuel, we're going to put this 60, we burn 6.4 pounds per hour, so we're going to put that right there on the 6.4. Each individual tick, we're at the 0.4, 60 rate, that's our pointer. Then we're going to come all the way down, way over to this side, and we're looking for 14 minutes, so at 14 minutes, we're going to burn a little over 1.3 gallons. That's 1.3, not a lot of fuel. We're going to do the same thing with 12 minutes, or 11.8. We're going to come all the way up here, do 11.8, which is going to burn about 1.1 gallons, 1.08, so yeah, 1.1 gallons. And again, you have to interpolate if you come down here to the 9-minute, 8-minute, 7-minute. It gets really fun when you get down here into the 4-minute realm, but at 12 minutes, we're going to burn about 1.1 gallon. And we're going to do the same thing. So when we do the 9-minute, we just have to interpolate over, and that's going to be 0.8 gallons. We're going to come down, 5 minutes goes way around. This one I should show you because it is a little weird to look at. So we come down here to the 5.5 minutes. We're looking for 4.8, so we're going to come down here to 5. This is actually 0.45 gallons. We're going to do a half a gallon there, not 0.8. That's half a gallon. We're just going to look up all the others. That's 5.6 minutes. We're going to look at half a gallon as well. Pretty close. It's not quite, but it's about. Then we've got 14 minutes. It's going to be 1.3 gallons. And our final leg of 16.2 minutes can be about 1.5 gallons. You usually want to round up when you... So, the only thing left to do is calculate the amount of fuel remaining, which is nice, easy, simple calculation. 38 minus 1.3. We're going to have 36.7 gallons remaining. Then we're going to subtract 1.1, 35.6 minus the half, minus another half, and minus that final 1.5, which is going to lead us to 31.8. Okay, that gives us a whole lot of information. This is basically what we're looking for a cross-country flight. We do want to know what the deviation on the aircraft is. That will give us a final heading, but realistically, if we fly 4-3 plus or minus that deviation on the compass card, that's what we're looking for. And we do want to make sure we hit these waypoints at roughly these times. It should take about that many minutes. This should be roughly our ground speed. Miles remaining. This tells us that we have 31.8 gallons left, and at 6 gallons per hour, we have over 5 hours cruise time. That's a lot. That's a huge amount. So that is how you do a flight plan. This was kind of real quick, but not bad. Alright, here is our VFR sectional. Got all of our profiles and our altitudes. We're going to go over here, just north of that. We're gonna add that in. We're gonna take this, make sure it's dragged on. We're gonna add that in. Distance of 57 miles. We're gonna use 5 gallons worth of fuel just to get there. 33 minutes. Compare. So to get there, we assumed 36 minutes. Pretty close. 9-knot tailwind, so we had that. Really close. 112. Yeah, we had the exact 9-knot tailwind. Fuel used. This is probably it was about half of that. The fuel. Might have done that wrong. 4 flights a little bit more accurate. Then if we reverse it, it's going to be a 40-minute flight, 6 gallons of fuel, 9-knot headwind. Looks like we're actually pretty close. This is a great way to see how to do it, but this took 2 minutes, 2-ish minutes. And it was easy. It was super quick, super easy. You still have to know how to do it the old way because iPads fail, electronics fail. If you get lost, you're in trouble. So, hopefully you guys enjoyed that and this little kind of cheat using ForeFlight. You can do the whole thing using just SkyVector, but ForeFlight's much easier. Well, thank you guys for joining, and we will see you guys in the next episode.